What sells on Facebook Marketplace and other similar sites such as Letgo? I do know Craigslist is still around. I haven't had much luck with it in really a number of years. Perhaps that's different for some people depending on what you have available in your area. I'm just going to give you my opinion just by sheer luck and experience as to what has sold for me and what has not sold for me. Now, I know some people specialize in maybe some more high dollar items in terms of, telephones or electronics and that type of thing. But I really like to focus on the smaller items which I would use, items which I like, and sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. But I'm generally focusing on some lower priced items, and I'll just tell you what I have found has worked for me and what has sold pretty well. I like to move things in and out. It's really fun to go source items, but eventually you get that giant pile in your house and you need to clear it out. You need to make your money back, you need to make a profit, and then you can use that to go buy more items. So the first thing I have found that has been a really good seller, it sells quickly, it sells easily, and it's not too difficult in terms of transportation, is small furniture items. Coffee tables, side tables, desks, chairs, probably not just one chair, but if it's an interesting chair or a set of chairs, nightstands, that type of thing. They're small, people need them, they use them all the time, and so those tend to be really good sellers. I don't tend to put a lot of work into them. If I find something that maybe needs a little painting or a little refurbishing, that's fine. But if it's a big, huge project, you are not going to get your time and money out of it. Do it because it's fun, and then sell it, but don't expect to make a giant profit on it. So I've put a coat of paint on things. I have, scraped some paint off and maybe, varnished it, but I try to look for things that are either ready to sell or involve very little work. A good cleaning, a good polishing, oiling some wood, making sure that any scratches are filled in and covered. That's the extent that you should be looking to in terms of repairs. Otherwise, you put in way too much time, and that's time that you could be selling, and it's time you could be sourcing other products. But furniture items, small furniture items, really good. Big furniture items sell as well, but where do you put them in the meantime? If you have space in your garage or you have a storage unit, totally different story, and you can do very well with those too. I just don't have the time or the space for them. Some other things, I was really surprised at craft items. I'm a crafter, but I was surprised that people actually looked on Facebook Marketplace and other local platforms for supplies. The first time I realized this is when I sold a big bag of yarn, and some of it was new, none of it matched, some of it was partial, and I was surprised at how fast that sold and how many people asked me about it. And so I have now expanded into other crafty items such as holiday themed items, things for sewing, pillow stuffing, cool knobs and containers, types of things like that. They go really well, and without a lot of hassle. Children's clothing, but there's a caveat to this: it's got to be cheap. So if you can sell a big bag of clothing items for around here $5 or $10, maybe in other areas $10 or $15 or $20 would even be considered cheap. But here, a big bag of reasonably nice, good condition, clean baby clothes, I can sell them all day, every day for $5 a bag, like a small grocery bag. Those seem to go really well. Once even if the quality is really, really excellent, the brands are really, really excellent, if you start pricing up above that, they will go, but they will not go quickly. I don't like things to hang around. I want to move it in, I want to get it ready, and I want to move it out. Men's clothes also go relatively well. Again, they kind of have to be cheap, and athletic wear in very good condition and a good brand, that tends to sell pretty quickly. If you have some specialty items like maybe suits or ties or dressier items, they might be expensive at the department store, but they are not big Facebook Marketplace sellers. But that being said, if you have a nice bag of men's shirts or athletic wear, and it's clean and it's pressed and it's in good condition, you will be able to sell those as long as you're selling them for a really, really good price. Women's clothes, not so much. Women, I think they just have a lot of clothes, and so it's not a big, huge deal to get a bag of clothes just because they're inexpensive. It's a different animal, and I haven't found them to be a very good seller. They'll sell, but they're just not a very quick seller. Another thing I was really surprised about is I was consolidating two households. I used to live 50% in one city and 50% in another city. And when I sold one of the locations, I had an excess of cleaning supplies. They were half used. Bleach, floor cleaner, furniture polish, window cleaner, Comet, those types of things. They were half used. Some of them were more full than others. I sold boxes of them, like a box that you would put, a file box full of half-used supplies. You can get $5 or $10 for those all day, every day. If you've got stuff languishing under your sink, you can fill a box and you can sell that thing for $5 or $10. It's better than throwing it in the trash. Somebody gets the use out of it, you make back some of your money, and you clear out the space. Health and beauty items are the same. In cleaning out one of my other houses, I had an excess of beauty supplies, shampoo, conditioner, hand soap, powders, that type of thing. Again, some bottles half used, some of them near full, some of them with just a little bit left. And you can fill a box with those and they can go to somebody who needs them. You make a little money and it doesn't have to get thrown in the trash. Win-win. Things that have not sold very well. And unfortunately, I was disappointingly surprised about these things because I love shoes, and shoes do not sell. It's not that they will languish forever, but you have a limited market. Number one, it's for a man or a woman or a child, and a male or a female. So you're limiting your market right there. The size, obviously, now you've cut down your market to whoever wears that size. And then that person also has to like the style, and they have to be in good condition. And so you're just narrowing and narrowing and narrowing your audience. And yeah, you're probably going to find the one person that takes that type of shoe and that size with that color that saw it on that particular day that you had it listed. But it's not going to go overnight. And I was really disappointed because originally I had sourced some very, very nice shoes, expensive shoes, and they were brand new, never worn, but I'm sitting on most of them. I will find that person one day that will just be thrilled to get them. But until then, I have to keep that in my inventory, and it's not moving, and it's not making a profit. So I will probably stay away from shoes in the future, even if they're new and beautiful and would be very expensive elsewhere. There might be an exception for I would say special use types of shoes. There's special dance shoes, tango shoes, orthopedic shoes, that type of thing. There might be a bigger market there because it's harder to find, but I would not bet on it. You'd have to get something at a really, really good price in order to justify keeping it in inventory and perhaps tying up some money in them. Again, like I said, women's clothes, they just don't seem to go. If you had a specialty item, that might be a little different. However, my experiences with Facebook Marketplace and Letgo and other local platforms is people aren't really looking for designer clothes or specialty items so much there. They're looking for the basics. something that's affordable. And if I had something that was very expensive, a designer brand, Escada or Fendi, or if I had, some specialty items like leather coats or things that commanded a higher price, I might want to go to eBay with those, or some other type of platform where people are really looking for more specialized items and you have a wider audience. Locally, those don't tend to sell very well. Books. I love books, and I've got tons and tons of books, and I hoard them like they're precious jewels, but they are just not selling. Younger people aren't reading paper books. They might be reading, on their iPad or something of that nature, but they are not reading actual books. There's some exceptions. I've had some very nice art books and coffee table books, and I eventually sold them, but they went very, very cheaply, and I'm glad they found a good home, because a book shouldn't go without a home, but there is really not a market for those. Perhaps other venues, eBay or Amazon or something of that nature, but on Facebook Marketplace and Letgo, I have not been able to sell hardly any books. I can count on really 2 fingers the number of books that I have sold. Collectibles. Now, if you find the right person, they might want to buy your teapot collection. And I say teapot collection is because I have one, and it has gotten out of control. And in trying to downsize it, these cute things that I coveted at one time and now don't have the room for, there really isn't a market for them. Maybe one day I'll find some other teapot collector that is looking for teapots on Facebook Marketplace, but again, I doubt it. And my inventory, it might not have cost me anything, but it's taking up space, and I will not be purchasing any collectibles thinking that they are valuable items that I can turn around for a quick profit on Facebook or Letgo. Big furniture. It does sell, but where do you store it? And I talked about that briefly before. If you have the place for it, no problem. If you don't, it becomes a big problem in terms of it's tying up your space and it's tying up your money. So think closely about whether you want to acquire it might be $10 to buy a giant recliner, but where are you going to keep it until you can sell it? Older technology. This is probably goes without saying, but does anybody buy cassette tapes or VHS tapes or old TVs or ancient telephones? No. Stay away. If you already have them and you want to get rid of them, I suppose you could list them, and you could list your heavy metal hair band cassettes for sale on Facebook or Letgo. But if somebody offers you $1, take it and run. Well, I hope this has helped. As I find more surprising products, good ones and bad ones, I will make another video. But until then, buy what you can store, buy what you can make money off of, and try to get it in and get it out. And I'll see you next time.